Anyway, so I'm taking off and so I was thinking about places I want to go. Hello, Flavia from Smoky, Washington. Joan, hello. Smoky, Washington. Yeah, I talked to a friend in Portland, which is, I get it. It's not Washington. Also smoky though. And, oh, he sent me a couple pictures. Terrible. So I was thinking of all the places in the world that I like to go. And of course, one place I would like to go is Brazil because of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I just was looking at this hat and it says, it doesn't say Brazilian, it says Brazilian. The L is not on the hat. And I don't blame the Brazilians for that. I blame the manufacturers of this hat. And I'm not sure where they are. Usually it's China or Vietnam that's making our inexpensive hats with incorrect spellings. But you know, you don't want to jump to conclusions, and I don't want to cast aspersions. I'm just saying Brazilians, they might leave the L out. Their bathing suits are very skimpy. Maybe they don't need all the letters in their alphabet. But you can't go to Brazil. You can't go to Brazil. I'll tell you some other great places that I went when I was on the road with, yeah, it's Monday, Jeff. It's Monday. Here we go, Clinton. Yes. Hello, Amy from Detroit. David, hello, Scott. Yes, I'm saying hello to everybody. The Eagles lost. Oh, that hurts. That hurts, Jen. The good news, as far as you and I are concerned, is I don't even know who beat them. And I don't care because Eagles, okay, I don't know. I don't know if that's... Keith, you're going to get some hurricanes in Florida? Well, that's... Flavia's near southern. Portland's about 40 miles south. Yeah, so you're there with the Brown. Yes, everybody keep calm. Let's try and keep calm if we can. Rachel, don't worry about the missing L in the hat. Makes me love it more. So I was just looking through this atlas. I'm doing this corporate gig, people from all over the world. Of course, I'd like to go to Brazil. That's a place I'd like to go. And there's a lot of fun people that I've met from Brazil at this particular gig for this company. It's called Sitecore, is the company. They sent me a hat, and it's spelled correctly on their hat. Anyway, I was looking at countries that I went with Russell that I'd like to take my family back to, and I have to say, Vilnius. I think Vilnius is Lithuania, and Ljubljana, I think is. I can't remember which one that one is, but Vilnius, Ljubljana, and Zagreb. Those three cities are so worth a visit. Just amazing architecture and really great. But we can't go to any of these foreign countries in the World Atlas right now. Well, at least most of us. Most of the people watching, I think, are here in America. But I do get it. You could be here. The internet is international, and you could be from some other place. Although, as I've sort of come to realize, I think this show, if you can call it that, is a kind of an acquired taste, or maybe there's something wrong with all of us. But so this is where we're limiting our trips to right now. This was a gift to me. Wasn't really a gift, but I got it in one of those Christmas drawings, you know, where you draw and you get to take a present. Then if somebody comes after you, they can steal it from you. Well, guess what present you get that nobody steals? It's the 2020 Road Atlas. So I have the 2020 Road Atlas. I don't know, and this is the continental United States, the contiguous 48. Those are the ones we can go to. We cannot go to Alaska right now, I don't think. Well, maybe we could fly there, I guess, but you can't drive there because you'd have to go through Canada, and we are not welcome in Canada right now. They're not welcoming us. That's for their own protection because we're dangerous. So I'm looking around at the 48 states and places I'd like to go. Of course, Texas is on my list. Shout out to my Austonians and my Dallasses. But man, I'd love to get back to Chicago. Love to get back to Minneapolis, where I was just before. New York City. There's so many great places, even here on the West Coast. Portland. I'd love to come up to Portland, Seattle. My manager says she's going to start calling comedy clubs, and we're going to see what's out there for us to do. Sharon, hello. Yes, Phil, hello. Phil. Laura says, I don't know, man. Brazil isn't doing much better than we are as far as COVID. I mean, I want to go there too one day, but not just yet. Yes, well, Laura, of course. That's the caveat. We're not going anywhere because we're not allowed to go anywhere right now. But yeah, I'm not planning to go anywhere until I feel like the danger of COVID is a little bit reduced. Although, Jen's happy that the Cowboys lost. Um, wow, Ramon, you were in Hillsborough during the 1980 St. Helens eruption. You've had an interesting life, my friend. Um, Oakland A's magic number is down to 7. Yeah, it's a short season. Hi, Ed. Um, okay. Ljubljana, Slovenia. Yeah, Jeff, thank you. I knew that I just was on the tip of my tongue. I wanted to say that, but I didn't. Now you've said it. Now you've helped me. Yes, paper maps, Jeff. Jeff, I know you can get all your maps in your tiny little phone, your little box of friends that's in your pocket at all moments. But when you got this piece of paper map, when the internet goes down or the Wi-Fi cell provider fails you, although I don't like your chances of figuring out how to get anywhere in the United States when you're using a map this big for a journey that big. You need a more zoomed in map. But Jen, you were supposed to go to Philadelphia to take care of a friend's mom, but then his uncle died from varinus, so we had to cancel. Jesus! This varinus. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. Oh. Cleveland's going to win the Browns, Cleveland Browns. Yeah, there's a lot of football talk today. So anyway, yeah, Road Atlas was used before. I can't even believe when I drew this at the Christmas gift thing, I thought it's got to be a joke. It can't even be real, but it is real. And I put it in the plastic cover that I had for my last Road Atlas, which curls up like this. You can tape it so you can that was not going to fit in your glove compartment, but I think it'll fit in that door pouch or something. Belinda's not here today because she had better things to do. Oh, if you can believe that. I was a little crestfallen when she told me that. But she's out gardening, and then she had some interest in her TV show, her environmental show, that she's got this interview with Mark Ruffalo that is really great. And I'm hoping she's going to be able to post that on her YouTube so that you guys can see it. But she has to get permission from him and his people to be able to do that. Ed, you attended another online stand-up set by Kevin Nealon on Saturday. Yeah, I saw that Rush Tix. You sent me the link to that Rush Tix. You say you just did it live from his house, did a Q&A afterwards using comments like this format. Yeah, well, this is a good format for me. I do like this. Sharon, thank you for saying so cool. So anyway, I looked into that Rush Tix, and I couldn't figure out how to get connected to them if you're an artist, but that's not really a job. That's my job. That's someone else's job. So, but I am interested in thinking about that. But as I've said a couple of times on here, I don't know that I could even do a stand-up show right now. I need to get on stage to practice doing stand-up. It would be very weird to charge people money for a ticket. I mean, it would have to be something like this where it was a little bit homemadey, new materially notes. I wouldn't have to hold the notebook in my hand. I could have it, suspended just outside of the camera, and I could look at my notes maybe. But today is Motivational Monday, so I had some motivational things that I went through my motivational notes. Crestfallen, got to use the word more often. Did I say crestfallen? I don't know if I did, but you're right. That's a good one. What you do is a result of the story you believe about yourself. That's one that I had written down. I have my little notebook that I write things down, and I transferred this. Actually, this was a computer document. What you do is a result of the story you believe about yourself, and I think that's a really good one to ponder. What you think about, you bring about. So how you're spending your mental time, that's determines the direction you're going to go. When you say what you think about, you bring about. If you're always worried about going broke, that can happen, not in a kind of a secret way, but just in a kind of, you're so paralyzed by being worried about that you don't do the things that you should be thinking about to get yourself in a better situation. But what you do as a result of the story you believe about yourself is a good one, because it just makes me think of all the things that people have said to me in the past about how did you know you could be a comedian. And I don't know that I really, at that time when I started, knew that I could become a comedian, but I knew that I could try to become a comedian. I knew that that was possible for me. You have to believe that it's possible. First, believing in yourself, believing that you can do it before you can get started. And so what you do as a result of the story about what you believe about yourself means that you need to believe that you could do it, that you're worthy of doing it, that you should give it a try. And if you don't believe that, then that's a good place to start. You know, if you want to be a comedian and you don't think you can do it, you don't think, well, for whatever reason, you don't think you're funny, or you have trouble getting in front of people or whatever, first you have to kind of say, look, no, I could do this. I could figure out how to be in front of people. I could figure out how to get over my stage fright. I can watch other people do comedy and figure out how jokes work. So you got to believe a story about yourself first, and then you go out and you make it happen. You got to believe you can do it. And then I like these other ones that I have here. Every endeavor pursued with passion produces a successful outcome, regardless of the result. And I like that one because it talks about if you're working passionate towards something that you believe that you can do and that you think you are going to love, you're going to head yourself in a direction that is going to take you somewhere that you want to be. So regardless of the result, well, you may not become Jim Carrey or Kevin Hart or whoever, whatever comedian you're aspiring to be, but you might meet some other comedians and decide that you want to write for sitcoms, or you may decide you want to create your own talk show on the internet or something like that. So if you're passionate, if you pursue your endeavor with passion, you're going to get a successful outcome. You're going to get somewhere that you want to be that's better than where you are right now. But you gotta give yourself over to it, and you can't get so enamored with the result that you neglect the process. You have to love the process. If you don't love the process, you're never going to get the result that you want. Like if you don't like boxing, if you don't like punching and trying to figure out how to do that, you can't become heavyweight champion. I mean, that's sort of a silly example, but it's also a good one. Anyway, and that was kind of a quote that I had written down, that you have to be in love with the process in order to make your way to the result. Is a lot of people quit things that they're not passionate about, that just aren't fun for them, and then they can let themselves feel like failure, when really you shouldn't feel like a failure. If you quit something that you're not passionate about, you should feel smart, like, look, it turns out I didn't like traveling around the country and staying in crappy hotels and trying to tell jokes to a bunch of drunks. That doesn't mean you failed at comedy. That means that you figured out that comedy is not for you. Not that you have to love those things to love comedy. Anyway, I'm trying to have a decent little fun time here while we're in here. Okay, well, let's see where we are. Jen's saying, don't you think your material would bounce right back in your head? Yeah, I think it would. I think in a way it would, and I've got notes and I can listen to old shows. That's how I usually get ready. If it's been a couple weeks since I went on stage, I'll listen to one of the last shows that I did before my 2-week break. But this is months long, and I feel like I'm at a different headspace with things that I might want to talk about. I'd have to go through that material from my last set, look at that list. I think there's maybe a third of it, maybe half of it. Let's say half of it I still would feel like, oh yeah, well this still feels like me and what I want to say. That leaves a lot of other stuff to talk about, but that would be good. I could do that. The Velveeta Room downtown Austin may be the last comedy club in Austin. Wow, Keys. I've been in the Velveeta Room just with the other comedians I was working with, just to see the place, and if that's the last place that survives, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's a place that just exists because people love it. And those are the comedy clubs that are going to come back too, the places that people love. How you spend your day is how you spend your life. Uma, that's a good one too. And that kind of goes into the story that you believe about yourself. If you believe you can do it, then you're going to spend your day writing your book or working on your comedy jokes. Flaccid Crest syndrome. Is there a pill for that? I didn't see Flaccid Flaccid Crest syndrome, but I'm going to Google that after the show, Ramon. Thank you. Flaccid Crest syndrome. Oh, it sounds. Is it a thing that happens to birds like cockatoos? Their crest won't come up. It just kind of flops to one side or the other. Or Keys, you believe you can fly. I caution you against taking radical action in that direction. Jump off something small first. Don't go right to your roof. All right. Jeff says, I'm not afraid of the stage. I'm afraid of all the people looking at the stage. Yeah, well, I get that. But you also, I get that. I had a real stage fright at the beginning that I had to kind of just white knuckle it and practice my act over and over at the beginning just to be able to feel like I was saying it without being nervous. That was to get over the initial stage fright. But I do know a lot of people who feel like their audience is aliens or that you need to be afraid of them. My advice to somebody who's feeling like that, not that you asked me for my advice, but look, I'm trying to fill up a half hour of talking. So my advice, if you're afraid of the audience that you're going in front of, you have to really think about who they are. And in a comedy club, that's people who came out to laugh. They came out to have a good time and be entertained and laugh. And they believe, whether you believe it or not, when you first walk out there, most of the time they think you're going to be able to do it. They think you're going to be able to make them laugh. I mean, maybe some of them are skeptical, like, this guy isn't that funny, or make me laugh, dummy. Well, you can rule those people right away. You don't care about those people. You want to make people laugh who came there to have a good time. And so most of the time they're rooting for you, not against you. And that's something that you need to believe before you go out to do it. You need to believe that most people are interested in what you've got to say and want you to succeed before you start talking. I think that is actually true and not some bullshit story that you're telling yourself. But the consolation prize of, let's say you're wrong and there's one or two people out there who don't believe in you, they don't want to hear what you've got to say, they're never going to think you're funny. Let me tell you something about them, and Belinda's not here right now, so I'm going to pick up the slack. Fuck those a-holes. If they came with that attitude to the beginning, and there's no need for you to say that or to embrace that, I'm just saying you dismiss those people who want you to fail, those people who don't believe you can do it, those people who aren't interested in you. They're not your audience. They're not your people. There's other people out there for you, and it's a big world, and all those people who don't believe in you and want you to fail and don't care what you have to say, all of those people can go do something else, and hopefully they're happy. And the sooner they leave, the sooner they're out of your life and out of your circle, the better off you are, and the better off they are also. You don't need those people. All right. What happened? That was our pants aerodynamic. Ramon, I'm not sure, but you got what those wingsuit pants are, but you would not catch me dead in a wingsuit, or rather, that's probably the way you would catch me if I put one on. Who said the second quote about success? The one about the outcome. I'm not sure where I got that one. I wrote it down, and it was without attribution. So there's some good recipe stuff in here. Did I have a backup plan? I didn't really have a backup plan. I did have a day job, and so by having a day job, I didn't have to worry so much about financial success early on. I could focus on creative success, and I could work my day job, which was waiting tables and bartending, and then just focus on trying to get funnier and better at what I was trying to do. Jen, you're a believer. Well, I can't say that I hate Justin Bieber. No, it's not Tony Robbins hour. I'll cut it out, Keys. It's just Motivational Monday. I'm trying to stick with a theme. I got Bible stories for tomorrow, plus a letter from Grandma. I got Motivational Monday. We got camels on hump day. We can throw an animal in there on Thursday, Friday's happy hour. We're just trying to take care of business here a little bit. That's all. Ed, after his set, Kevin rotated the camera to show that he had pages of notes just on camera. Perfectly valid to cheat for this format. Yeah, no, that's how I did it with the last corporate gig I did. I had to do this 11-minute take at the beginning, and I had my notes, just kind of little bullet points of do this, do that, do this, because otherwise you forget, especially if you're just getting started. Ramon says comedy may be for me, but you're not for comedy. I just tell people it's mutual. Well, I hope you like comedy. I hope someday maybe I'll see you at a show, Ramon. Not that that's we're having a relationship now. This is fine if you don't do that. Rich, I'm not afraid of flying, but I'm afraid of crashing. Yeah, it's not the fall that kills you. It's the ending. It's that abrupt stop at the bottom. Jeff is asking, how nervous was I for this will take about an hour? You know what? I had said to them ahead of time, we were talking with the producers. I was a young comedian for this will take about an hour. I was, I think 32, 31. They want to like you, let them. Yeah, that's right, Ira. That is right. Ira's a comic. He knows. Listen to Ira. Although he may be making fun of me right now. So I wasn't so nervous for this will take about an hour because I had really prepared. I had grooved the material down and I knew what I was doing. And I had even said, we're shooting 2 shows. What we want is one of them to be a kill fest. And the first show was great. And my managers came up to me and said, look, we've got that one in the can and you can just relax the second show. And I was very relaxed when I went out on stage the second show. Let me tell you something. That second show, which is what most of the special is, the audience was so on board. I felt like they were there. They were interested in what I had to say. They were just like they were loving me and I was loving them. It was going so well in the middle, and I knew it was going well, but it was going so well that I was worried I was going to say to the crowd, "Are you guys just messing with me right now? Are you trying to make me think that I'm funnier than I am?" I just couldn't believe how much people were laughing. That was a terrific experience. And as a comic, when you do a special, when you're watching a comedy special, if you decide you don't like this comedian, you want to keep in mind that that's that material one time on one night, or maybe they taped 2 shows that night, and that they've been doing that set for months or maybe even a year. And so the night that the cameras are there is not always the best show of that year. With this will take about an hour. It absolutely was, and it just felt so good. It was one of those things where I was flying home, and I felt like that lightning in a bottle. I felt like we really. I mean, now I'm making it sound like I lucked out. My whole special was based on a fluke, but it just felt like of all the shows to have recorded, that one was the right one. It felt so good. Laura says, I've always liked the saying that there are more possibilities than you think there are. Helps me take more chances because sometime something great can happen you didn't even think of yet. Well, that's true. And that goes along with one of the other things I have written in the book about, this one was slightly different, but the one I can think of off the top of my head is things always work out in the end. And so if things haven't worked out, this is not the end. You don't really know what is coming, and you don't always really know where a path or an action will take you. You kind of know where you want to go and you're taking steps in that direction. But sometimes as you get closer to the thing that you think you wanted, you see other things that possibly you might want more than that. Yeah, positivity works. Yeah, I said the F word and then I had to say a-holes. I did that. That's the thing that I did. Yeah, positivity. I mean, positivity is a little different because you can't BS yourself. When you're thinking about positivity, you have to believe it. You have to really allow yourself to believe that you can do it. Don't have some secret part of yourself that thinks so. Maybe I'm going to make this high jump. You want to know that you can do it. You want to let yourself know that you can do it. You want to let yourself believe. Rich, that is such a sweet thing. I like you now more than ever. Can't wait to pay money for you to make me laugh and leave me with a great memory. Well, Rich, that's my dream. That's my dream as well. Is for people to come to the show, laugh, have a great memory, and for their lives to just be slightly better than their lives were when they walked in. I'm only in charge of an hour of your life, and sometimes 50 minutes, let's face it. Justin Timberlake stopped a concert once to address a heckler in a silent venue. He looked at the guy and said, "Why did you pay to get in here?" Yeah, I feel like that is a valid question. And the weird thing is, sometimes those people who are saying mean things are so. I'm not saying that this person is, and I don't think this is true of most hecklers, but sometimes people just are so ill-equipped to have a personal connection with someone that they heckle or do something mean just to get that person's attention who they're loving and enjoying. I've definitely had that experience where I say, "What the hell, ma'am? You need to shut up." And she's like, "I love you. You're my favorite." It's like, oh my God. So I do get how that can happen. But I don't know what Justin Timberlake's experience on the night you were there was like, but it is a valid question. Look, you paid to get in here. I'm just trying to do the show. I don't have another show that I do when you say, I don't like this show. It's not like you can hit the next button or discard and draw again. I'm the me that you came to see. I'm the me that you came to see. It's t-shirt time, everybody. Ramon says in the 1980s, I had a pair of parachute pants with multiple zippers. Failed fashion trend if ever there was one. I didn't get the parachute pants, but I had some of those Velcro over workout pants. Jen, you worried that people think you like Justin Bieber? It's okay. It's okay if you're a believer. You got the Bieber fever. He's just saying Tony Robbins' original banana hands. He's got some big hands. He's a big guy. He's a big man, as we all know. David's asking why I read the Bible stories from a children's Bible. Well, David, welcome aboard. I apologize if I have explained this before, but look, who can watch everything? The reason I bought the children's Bible because I thought at a point in my career life, I was thinking I need some topics, some things to talk about on stage. And I thought Bible story, a lot of people are familiar with Bible stories. So I bought the children's Bible because I wanted the simplest version that most people might be familiar with, even people who aren't super religious. And so I thought the children's Bible would condense it down enough that if someone knew Bible stories, they would at least know that much, and that's how much it would be okay for me to take as the kernel of the idea to riff off of the Bible story. And then now I'm doing the Bible stories from the children's Bible because it takes, for me to read the whole Bible, it's the children's Bible, it condenses it, it dumbs it down a little bit for me, and then it gives me a chance to jump off of there to talk about that. So Ouija, so for some of us, maybe me, maybe not, have this idea that this is something we'd like to do. How big is the leap from uninformed dream to the first reality? Well, the first reality, if you're thinking about doing stand-up, Ouija, find the place. I know you're in Alaska, but there's a club there. There's some place that does stand-up comedy, and they've got an open mic. And if it's not a straight comedy open mic, there'll be... sorry that somebody tried to call me while the camera was on. If there's not a straight up stand-up comedy open mic, there'll be a some kind of poetry slam or storytelling night, or if there's not, or a singer-songwriter night, and you just sign up for that and you go on in between the singer-songwriters. And if there's not one of those things, then you create one of those with some of your singer or musician friends and you make it up and you go on stage. And so the thing, if you want to become a comedian, the thing you have to like is doing comedy. You can't want to do it to be, well, you can do whatever you want. But if you're doing it because you want to be famous or you want to be rich, that's a path to disappointment. If you're doing it because you want to make people laugh and you want to be on stage and make people laugh, then the leap from uninformed dream, as you say, to the first reality is like that. Congratulations, and get out there. If you want to do it, do it. Flavia says, I love this motivational Monday. I need motivating. I can get these days. Yeah. Our air quality here, yours is 300. Oh, terrible. We're on about 145 right now. And we've just bought some new filters for the air filter machines we've got in the house. Unfortunately, I don't have one here in the office, but I'm not super sensitive to that, although I think I may have coughed 3 times during the show. Oh, the last show you saw was Lisa Landry at the local show in Danville, California. I'm trying to think of Lisa Landry, and I know that I know her, but I can't think of her right now because I'm thinking of a lot of things. You're crying in your pants, Keys? That sounds like sarcasm, and I like it. Thanks, Rachel. Okay, where are we at? I'm just going to try and work my way. I can't believe they call it incontinence. Yeah, I can't either. Did I have a different experience in the other shows I've taped? So we're talking about comedy specials. I have taped some specials that I thought were the other two specials that I did. Pictures of My Dinner and I Love You. Those were terrific shows. I was very happy with how they turned out. But of the shows that I taped, I had other nights that if I could have picked, I would have rather had. Oh, I wish I had a recording of that show. But a lot of times those are in places like I'm in a bowling alley and there's 35 people and it's a weird night, but we just all had so much fun. It was great. I'd love to have a special that was one of those. The brown sound. Yeah, I'm not going to turn on the fart machine today. Jen, you've got an Aussie tattoo. Well, congratulations. You're on the crazy train. Okay. It's Don. You saw George Carlin tell a heckler to shut the F up. Yeah, I feel like, most comics, and I think George Carlin would agree with me, that if it comes to that, we've all felt that. I mean, that's what you want to say. But if it comes to that, if you're actually telling someone in the audience to shut the F up or F you, you've lost. You don't want to get mad. You always want to. You're having fun. They're the asshole, or a-hole, as I sometimes say. Jen, people want you to go to see Justin Bieber. All right. Oh God. Early in your career, Ed, you were a tech support at a high-tech software company. You learned that some of the people that called and complained the most were people that like our product the most, and they just wanted us to do better. Yeah, I think that goes back to what I was saying. Berkeley, also no good air quality. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing Clinton. I'm seeing up there in the Bay Area. You're pretty sure your grandmother had a lamp like that? You mean this one back here? Yeah, I don't doubt it. Phil Hicks saw Belzer tell a heckler to go outside and practice falling down. That's a good one. I like that. All right, here we go. Let's get into. It's time to do a Seize the Day, and get ready for Bible stories tomorrow. Shall we pick out the Bible story now? This show is running a little long, and I wasn't expecting that because Belinda's not here, and I thought I was really going to bang it out. Okay, tomorrow's story is going to be the Israelites turn against God. We'll see how that turns out for them, and spoiler alert, I bet it's not good. So that's tomorrow. We've also got a letter from Grandma. I've got weeks worth of letters from Grandma left for all of those of you who might be worried that I'm going to run out of letters from Grandma. So today's Seize the Day. This is from Seize the Day 2. Rachel, we're still not on Seize the Day 3. Jerry saw me in DC right after 9/11. Those were some of my personally most favorite rewarding shows were the ones in that year after 9/11 because I felt like the audience and I were helping each other get through something. All right, so today's Seize the Day is from Orison Sweat Marden. Orison Sweat Marden, and Sweat is spelled S-W-E-T-T. Don't wait for extraordinary opportunities. Seize common occasions and make them great. That, and I just thumbed into this on Motivational Monday. Don't wait for extraordinary opportunities. Seize common occasions and make them great. So Ouija, I want you to go out there, find your place in your town in Alaska. Figure out how you can get on stage. You just go up there for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, tell a little story, do some little routine. Let me know how it goes. I can't wait to hear. You guys, comedy show Law and Order. I don't know exactly what that is, Scott, but I'm ready for you and I to work on that together. Wong. Thanks everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you're all having a good day, and I know we're all going to have a terrific week. Don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. Pretty positive Belinda's going to be here tomorrow for Bible story.